Here we are, Soulection Radio, here on Beats One Los Angeles, coming to you worldwide, 100 plus countries. So, about, what was it? A couple of days ago, a friend of mine, she hit me up and she said, hey, Joe, I'm about to start on this canvas. I'm about to start creating something. What's a Soulection Radio show that I could listen to right now to, put me in that vibe? And I said, nah, don't listen to Soulection Radio. Listen to this mix by Sasha Marie called Current Mood. And that mix has been in heavy rotation because I feel it not only reflects how I feel and the diversity of sound and just a pure track selection, but I just think it's one of the dopest mixes I've heard in a long time, and it's by this girl in front of me, Sasha Marie from San Diego. How you doing?
Good, thank you, Joe.
Yes, always got to do the intro. How are you? What brings you out here today?
Well, the radio show brings me out here today.
Yes, and it's been 3 years in the making.
Yes, I drove up with my friend Trisha. Shout out to Trisha. Yeah, for driving 4 hours from San Diego.
Dang, that's crazy. What 4.5? You pretty much went into hell.
Basically, 3 p.m. is not the time to leave.
True, and you're getting ready to also leave to Miami and Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For Bay Worldwide events.
Got it. So let's talk about your process in finding music and I mean, you've become, Chronica is definitely one of my favorites, and it's not even biased because of selection, just overall I get really excited. I'll stop what I'm doing if I see something pop up on my feed from you or from a few others in the world. There's very few people who move me because I do this every week,
Yeah.
So I've stopped listening to a lot of hosts or a lot of DJs, and you're one of the few that I'll stop in my tracks. I'm like, what does she have? And then I'll go on your likes, or I'll try to follow your footprints. And okay, maybe she favorited or posted here and there, and I could never find the music that you play sometimes.
Yeah, well, actually, I find a majority of it on SoundCloud, but I listen to Pandora kind of heavy, and I listen to like the Billie Holiday station, or like just like your regular jazz or classical station, and I actually find a lot of songs from them because I feel like they have like a great archive personally.
Yeah.
So I find a lot of my music there. I have my own records as well, so like I inherited like a pretty big record collection from my father when he passed away, and it had tons of music that I had never heard of.
Wow.
So I'll just like, you type in an artist and then other artists will come up that are related to them. So that's how I kind of got started.
Yeah, and it's just this constant cycle. And a lot of those records, were they put out digitally or they just only on vinyl format only?
Most of them are only on vinyl.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then so you said Billie, who was your
Billie Holiday.
Billie Holiday, and then Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse Frank is always on rotation for me. Like Frank is probably my favorite album ever.
I always love when you play that song in your sets. When I've heard you live, it's over the Nas, the classic Nas song. It's what song is it? I played it the other day. I remember there's this one. It's like I can't think of the name. If I could find it, I would definitely play it in the session. But there's just a few songs that every DJ, every selector, there's a few songs that reflect who they are as a person. And when I hear Amy, it's like not many people could drop a set, Amy Winehouse during a set, and if you could do that, you're pretty much finessing. What part of San Diego are you from?
I'm originally from Logan Heights.
Okay.
But I grew up in Chula Vista.
Got it.
Yeah.
And growing up, how did that impact, aside of your father, people, when you were in high school, did people really listen to you when you played music and stuff like that?
I was a loner in high school, basically. So I spent a lot of time on my own, just reading or listening to music. My dad was like heavily influenced by like the older cars and motorcycles. So that's how I kind of like grew my love for oldies. So he was always playing, like Barbara Mason or like the Jive Bombers, the Delphonics, Manhattan, stuff like that. So I'm like heavily influenced by that.
Yeah. And you've been part of Soulection for 3 years now, and we had the opportunity to travel a few times.
Yeah.
The last time was we went to Europe. That was an amazing time out in Paris. And where else did we go? I think
London.
London.
Yeah.
And what did you take from that?
The turn up is real.
Yeah.
So very real. I've never, like, when we played at Coco, I was just like, wow. Which cool, like Amy Winehouse also graced that stage.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that photo in the back and I was like, no way.
Like, how did I get here?
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel people go a bit harder. I don't know if it's because they only see us once, a few times a year, but I feel that people appreciate it across the world, and it's just it's a certain feeling, you know. People here back home, you know, they're able to see us over a period of time more often, so it's just kind of that rarity. What's your process like, even with how do you feel when you discover a sample or there's something that you really love and you realize, wait, this actually has a root to it. I didn't think about it.
I feel like I always find the sample of a song that I love later by just like randomly hearing it. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
I should start like researching that stuff more though,
Yeah.
because I feel like it is important to know that stuff.
For me, it has been because, especially for people who are a lot younger than us, they hear Drake, or they hear, you know, they think Drake and Boy Wonder are responsible for, you know, the whole dance hall and Caribbean vibe. And then you think about it, and it's been going on for a long time before that. But sometimes it takes tastemakers or people, even us included, to have that opportunity to inform them, because no one does that. When you hear even top 40 radio, people just play, you know, what's out, and they just keep it moving, but no one ever really talks about. You got to go dig on the internet to find the source, you know. And to me, I find the art in that, and I find a pleasure of knowing, like, where did this come from? And yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
So, as well as for you as a selector, as a DJ, in your opinion, what do you need to do to stand out nowadays? Because anybody can buy a controller nowadays. Anyone could buy CDJs or decks or software and upload a mix. You don't even have to have. When I first started, I started off with a $20 program, you know, and I was just dragging tracks from iTunes into this program and fading out the end.
Virtual DJ.
Yeah, I didn't even have virtual DJ. It's podcast style. So it's crazy. What, in your opinion, what do you have to do nowadays
to stand out? For me, all my mixes are like solely based on how I feel. I do get inspired by other people's mixes, but personally, I'm just hella in touch with my emotions. So I'll just hear music, and I really sit with my music for a while. Like, it takes me a while to make a mix. Like Current Mood was called so many different things before I put that out. And I was just feeling so many different things, and I didn't want it to just go in one general direction. I was like, I'm listening to classical right now. I'm listening to blues right now. I'm listening to jazz, and I'm listening to hip hop. Like, I just want to fuse those together. You know, I don't want it to sound like this. I want it to sound like me, because it's a direct representation of me, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, what's funny is, as you were explaining that, what I think from my perspective that separates you from a lot of other selectors or people who upload their mixes to the internet is that you have a true theme to your mix. It's not just mix 01 or not some, it doesn't say the month and then the year, and that's your mix for the month. What I like is how you have Current Mood, and the artwork, the visual to it makes me want to listen. And then you also have another one that really stood out to me was Airplane Mode.
Yeah.
And Airplane Mode, that mix really gravitated to me. One, because I fly a lot, I'm always traveling, but the concept seemed to be more about shutting off from the world and just getting lost in the music. So obviously it's a common concept, we all do it, but to actually brand it and kind of theme it out in a certain way, and then once you listen, it's like track after track, it's just very thoughtful.
Thank
so
you.
To me, that's how you separate yourself, you know, from the others. And even another mix, After Her, you know, it had a lot of sensual, a lot of late night vibes in it that I forgot about, or some edits, and I think that's what people are looking for, you know. And to stand away from a radio show, there's no vocals, so it's just you and the music. So I think you should definitely keep on with that. Is it true that you have been practicing, trying to learn how to produce as well?
Yes, I've taken a couple classes already, learning a couple different programs, but it's like a slowly but surely thing. It's like an ultimate goal of mine.
Got it. What are you? And you're saying you're using Ableton. What have you created so far?
Well, I created a couple songs for a class, but they're nowhere near something that I would like share. I definitely I feel like I'm a perfectionist in general with my mixes, so I don't even know when I would be able to release a song. Like it's gonna take some time. I feel like
Yeah.
it takes some practice and being on Soulection. That's intimidating already.
I feel you.
But I feel supported though by, the homies and stuff. If I have a question or I need something, like I know I can just reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what's amazing, that you have a endless resource of artists, producers, and people who, or even engineers, even
Yeah.
here at Beats One, you could ask any question. And, but I totally respect the fact that it's a private thing. And I think every artist, people get mad like, hey, I want to hear it. And they get kind of offended if you don't let your friends hear it. But
Yeah.
I understand that, and I think it's important that you come out when it's ready. And I also think, on a last note, that as an artist or just a creator, that whether it's at subpar level in your opinion or as good as other people that are doing it, I think it's important for every person to express themselves, even if it's 15, 20 minutes a day, and get those
Exactly.
ideas out and not get caught up in comparing yourself to this person. You got to just do it for yourself if you're doing it for the right reasons, right?
Yeah. If it brings you happiness, then do it.
Yeah. So you said you're going to Miami and Atlanta. Are there any other places in the world you want to visit and take the sound?
I actually really want to go to Mexico City.
Yes, you have to go there.
I was recently in Tulum and I just fell in love with the culture. I know that they play a lot of like house music out there,
Hmm.
but it was so beautiful. I'm like, I have to come back here and play sometime.
Yes. Well, let's get right into this music. I'm excited to hear what you have to play for us. Once again, Sasha Marie, know that you are welcome. This is just the beginning, by the way. Um, cannot wait to have you back, and let's get into it right here with Sasha Marie. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.